Hey guys, Triple T Cat here recording for the Zombie Arcade. This is part 2 of Meet the M60E4, and in this video I'm just going to talk a little bit generally about the LMG playstyle. You can see here we're using a holographic sight, a foregrip, and an extended mag. Now, on most weapons you'd expect this to be a very sort of rush-oriented loadout. This is pretty much the only loadout I use on the M60 actually, because I find you don't really need that bipod. The recoil is pretty easy to control thanks to the low rate of fire, so I tend to like this one for a bit more mobility, and this is just a sort of the general loadout that I use on the M60. This isn't specifically for rushing or anything like that, and the reason for that is that with a few exceptions, specifically the M249 is an exception to this, and the starting LMGs are those are the main exceptions to this. There are a few others that sort of work, but for the most part, LMGs just generally aren't designed as rushing weapons. They're going to favor, particularly, these heavier ones, the M240B, the M60, the PKP. These guns, the Type 88, these guns are going to favor a more deliberate playstyle. And I think that's something that people sometimes have a problem with. And I mean, I know it doesn't make for the most exciting gameplay in the world, but you really do have to sort of take it slow and be careful with these guns, because you're not going to be able to be the most ultimate badass ever in sort of close-range, fast-paced encounters. You're probably going to die to people with, automatic pistols, to people with submachine guns or assault rifles, to people with shotguns, definitely. And I mean, you've got that long reload time. You really do need to take your time with these guns, and they can be really, really potent, and you can really help out your team, but you need to sort of get in the right mindset where you're not playing the same as you play the assault kit or the engineer kit. It's its own playstyle where it's really, really important. I make that mistake there. I make all the time, where I sort of assume if I'm shooting a sniper, they're not going to be able to hit me. It doesn't work that way in BF3. Don't make that mistake, kids. You'll also see in this video a few times I start to reload and then switch to my pistol and switch back to the gun to interrupt the reload. I'm trying to train myself not to reload so much when I'm using LMGs, because I have a tendency to just fire a few shots and then reload when I've still got, in that case, I had 180-something left. You don't need to reload. I'm trying to train myself not to do that. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, you need to try and use a sort of more deliberate playstyle where you're really being careful, you're falling off your team. The class is called support for a reason. When you're using these guns, particularly the bigger ones, your job is to be behind the assault guys, behind the engineers, providing fire support and giving them ammo when they need it, and not to be, trying to rush up the front there and get it all done by yourself, because these guns just aren't designed for that. As I said, there are some support class weapons in particular where you can make it work, and honestly, those seem to be the most popular ones for the support kit. But, I mean, the M60, the PKP, the M240B, these are great weapons, just they require a different playstyle that I think some people are less comfortable with, and I think part of what it comes down to is to play successfully with these guns, like the M60, you need to get your ego out of the game, because when you play the support kit, you're not the star. You're not the big action hero dude running up the front killing everybody. That's not your job. That's something that you can do on the assault kit and the engineer kit, especially. Some recon type loadouts are like that. I mean, and if you want to run support with C4 and a shotgun, maybe, or something like that, yeah, you can play that way. But I'm talking about particularly when you're using a gun like the M60. Your job is not to be the star. It's not to be the action hero. It's not to be the dude who's charging in and getting every single kill and completing all the objectives and doing it all yourself. Your job is to support your team, and I think a lot of people just don't like to play that way, and that's why they end up really disliking a lot of these guns that are based around a playstyle where you just have to be content to let other people be the heroes of their own stories, and you're just kind of the guy there to make them look stylish. And there's actually nothing wrong with that in the team game. It's a really helpful role to play for your team. It's a good role if you like getting stabbed in the chest. No, it's a good role if you don't quite have the reflexes or the quick aim to be one of the guys up there at the front. Getting it done, and it's a way that you can still really, really help out your team, and I think is kind of underappreciated a lot of times. People are always looking for, good players. They're always looking at the, the flashy guys up front, pulling off the clutch play constantly. I mean, those guys are probably the baddest dudes in the entire universe, I'm not going to lie. But the support players are also very, very, and I mean that in the general sense, not people playing the support class, but the support players are also very, very important in making sure those guys can do their thing. in protecting the flanks so those guys aren't constantly getting shot from directions they don't expect, in making sure they're stocked with ammo and health and stuff, and actually, you know, defending the objectives, all that kind of good stuff. Not that there's objectives in TDM, which is what I'm playing here. And I mean, that's just something that happens in life in general, I feel like. The people who aren't, you know, the star player dudes are often underappreciated, be it in this game, in any other video game, in sport, in, you know, in social situations. You know, no love for the wingman. You know, it's an important job. You gotta make your bro look good so he can get some action. I mean, you gotta appreciate that. It's important. And yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit in this video, how sometimes in shooters it's important to not be the guy, but to be the other guy. Everyone wants to be the guy. I want to be the guy, but sometimes it's okay to let somebody else be the guy. And just take your ego out of the equation and, you know, chillax and stuff. And it's a topic that I'm going to talk about a little bit when I start doing my my sort of BF3 guide series, which I'm gradually working towards. That should be beginning quite soon, actually, running in tandem with this. I'll probably start that when I finish uploading the LA Noire videos, actually. Anyway, because it's particularly, if you're not that amazing of a player, you can still be really, really helpful to your team if you can just learn to play in a way where you know, you don't need to be super amazing, but you can still help out. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought that would be a thing to talk about for this video. You know, if you're not that good, or not even if you're not that good, but if you're not that good at, you know, being in the middle of it, being the super high reflex, super aim guy, don't feel bad. Play a style that you can play effectively. Play something like this. You see here, I'm just chilling out. You know, I'm behind most of my teammates. I'm standing perfectly still and just watching one doorway where the enemy keep trying to come through. And I'm helping. I'm getting a few kills. I'm getting a lot of assists. If those guys really need ammo, I can run up and drop some for them. I don't think I actually did that because I assumed they just sort of had enough where they can come back here and get it from me if they really need it. Anyway, and it does say that guy needs ammo, but he seems content to not have any. I've been lucky there, I think. Managing to kill that guy who came up behind me with the pistol, but I got kind of unlucky in a second here, so it sort of all works out in the end, I guess. Or maybe it already happened. I'm not sure. There was one point where a recon dude just headshotted me so hard in the face it didn't even matter. But I mean, I shouldn't have been quite as exposed as I was anyway. We'll see. I think it hasn't happened yet. Not sure. Maybe it already did. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that aside, the M60, pretty awesome gun. I should probably mention, this loadout is really good. It lets you play both defensively and, you know, somewhat offensively. You still don't want to be, as I said, the guy at the very forefront, but you can definitely push up with your team and help out with a loadout like this because you are mobile. On bigger maps, you can even put a 4x or a 3.4x scope on this. I'm using the holographic sight here because we're on Grand Bazaar, but on a more open map, the recoil on this gun is low enough that you can use a longer range zoom. You know, and you might want to use a bipod with that. If you're on, for example, if you're defending on a wide open map, you might choose a bipod on a long range scope. But for the most part, I really like this setup here. I feel like it's really, really versatile. I think here is up here is where I was thinking of that a guy just gets kind of lucky and takes me out. No, wait, I think I missed it. I think it already happened. Oh well, there was one point where I sort of popped around a corner and there were a couple guys and I would have killed. No, I was right there. I would have gotten the double kill, but then the sniper just happened to get a headshot on me at really close range. Just snap, bang! I don't know, probably wasn't luck. He was probably just that fucking good. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of this game. We cleaned up this TDM pretty easily. It was a 32-player team deathmatch with a 200 kill limit. I think we had 200 and they had around 160, 150, something like that. I can't quite read it. I think it says 153. They might have gotten a couple more. Anyway, and you know, I did pretty well for myself. I wasn't one of the top guys on my team or in the game, but I got a good solid ratio. I got a lot of kills, and you know, I didn't give many kills to the enemy team. So all in all, a pretty good success. And I mean, if I'd been playing with a different weapon, I probably would have been more aggressive, gotten a lot more kills, maybe died, you know, a bit more as well. But There's nothing wrong playing the style that suits the gun. In fact, I highly recommend it. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I'm going to show my stats screen as always. Thanks for watching. Next time we're going to look at the Type 88 LMG. And until then, Triple T Cat out.